What's up, everybody? This is Tom Taylor with South China Morning Post, SCMP MMA, joined today by the mom champ, Angela Lee. Angela, how's everything going?
Everything's going great. Feels good to be back home in Hawaii and just unwinding from the crazy fight.
Right. So I wanted to lead with that. You fly to Singapore with a baby, you do all the media stuff, you get the weight in check, you have a crazy fight with a crazy opponent, more media stuff, fly back to Hawaii with the baby. Just an insane week for you. I mean, how are you feeling to be back? How does it all feel in hindsight?
Oh man. It's just so surreal, that it's been exactly like a week since the fight. And today, just feeling like I got over the jet lag. So for the past couple of days, like been waking up at 2 a.m. My her schedule's been kind of wacky, but yeah, we're finally back on track. And the weekend's here, gonna just do a team celebration dinner on Sunday and a staycation with my family in Waikiki. So life is good.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. As someone who's known you for quite a while, it was really cool to see you in mom mode during fight week. It was cool to see Bruno in dad mode. But I'm curious, like bringing your baby along adds like a new wrinkle to a very stressful week. I mean, why was it important for you to have Ava there? Was it, extra motivation? Was it just a question of missing her? Was it about, having her grow up on the fight scene? Like, why was this so important for you, for her to be there?
Yeah, a lot of fighters thought I was crazy bringing my daughter, but I knew that she just had to be there. It wasn't an option for her to not come. I haven't been separated from her since she was, actually at all ever, and I'm still nursing, still breastfeeding her. So, obviously, I did not feel comfortable going on this trip without her. And luckily, my husband and my mom were able to come, and that was a big help during fight week because my dad obviously is working with me, coaching me, and my mom and my husband just took turns switching off watching Ava. I was, a little bit nervous. I didn't know how things would be. But she was amazing. Honestly, she was just an angel. She handled the flight over to Singapore so well. And during the whole fight week, like her schedule didn't change. She took her naps. She was able to sleep through the night. So, it was just amazing. She kind of just knew, like, I don't know. I just got really, really lucky. And yeah, everything just went very, very smoothly. Even on the night of the fight, me and my parents we were discussing it, and they thought that I shouldn't bring her to the stadium, and I just felt like she had to be there. I just had a feeling. So, my mom waited with her at the hotel until it was closer to my fight around 9:30, and then they took a car over to the stadium, and she woke up just in time to see me with the belt. So it was very special.
Yeah, she's such a sweet baby, and it was so clear that your family is such a team. Like, it was so funny in your post fight interview there how you were kind of passing her back and forth over and over again. It was always awesome to see. Obviously, she's still very young, but like, what do you think she's going to think of all of this when she grows up a little bit and the way her mom makes her living?
I hope she thinks it's cool and what I do is cool. I know she's so young, but we have all these photos, all these videos, and it's just documented so well, especially with my docu-series Anatomy of a Fighter. I just it's going to be so cool to watch these videos back with her when she's older, and just show her what mom used to do. So
Yeah, totally. I mean, take your kid to work day is going to be pretty cool for her. Let's talk about the fight. You won, obviously. You had a great submission there in Singapore, but it didn't come easy. You hit Stamp with like 500 submission attempts in a row, and she just wouldn't tap. Given how new she is to grappling, were you surprised at all by how well she hung in there?
me and my team, we kind of knew that she would be scrambling on the ground. Um, you know, uh, but we trained for that, we prepared for that, and I made sure that I was always one step ahead. One thing that I think helped me a lot as well is I didn't want to die in any submission. So I didn't want to hold on to anything and fry my arms out, fry my legs out. So if I knew that, hey, I don't think this is in, I don't think this is going to be, a finishing move, like let's transition to the next movement already before she escapes or before I burn myself out. So I just kept going with the flow and just transitioning from one movement to the next until I knew that I needed to hit her with a choke to make sure it's 100%.
Right. Well, you made it happen eventually. I do have to ask you about the body shot, though. It looked incredibly painful. I know you got the heart of a champion. You've proven that a million times, but I mean, how close was that to a finish? How much danger were you in there when you got hit with that shot?
Yeah, that took the wind out of me for sure. I was trying to catch my breath and trying to recover. I was scared. I didn't want them to stop the fight. So that's why, as much pain as I was in, like I tried my hardest to keep fighting, keep throwing punches to try to move forward, defend myself, and just keep moving to make sure I didn't want an early stoppage.
And the respect I have for you, obviously, but there are people out there now who are saying, maybe this is where Angela Lee is vulnerable. The body shot. We saw you get hurt by one in the Xiong Jingnan fight, and then again in the Stamp fight. What do you say to this new crop of naysayers out there who think this is the way to beat you?
Honestly, a liver shot is the way to beat anyone. It's the right technique. You know what I mean? Like it's known to, like, heavyweights can't take liver shots. You know what I mean? Like your body just shuts down. So, I was really just proud of myself that I was able to do what I need to do in order to keep the fight going. It was timed perfectly, and I did a lot of body conditioning. I made sure, like, I was in the best shape of my life, but just the right placement at the right time. I was reaching with my throwing a tube across, and just got exposed right over there. And yeah, it was a good shot. I gotta hand it to her.
Well, you recovered, you got the W. That's what matters. And now we can look to the future. It sounds like Ham is next. She beat Denise Mboanga on the same card. How do you feel about that matchup? What are your early thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, I think she did good. She got the W, and it looks like she's next in line. I definitely look forward to that matchup, defending my title again. Uh, but also, that strawweight fight with Xiong is on my mind as well. So, let's just wait and see, what opportunities present himself and what one has to say.
Right. I want to talk about Xiong for sure, but just one more note on Ham. Like that was, an impressive win for sure. Beating Denise under any circumstances is a solid feat, but definitely not the best fight of the night. It was a little bit slow. Is there kind of a part of you that wanted to see a little bit more from those two women as they were kind of trying to earn a title shot?
Um, I think it's just, their styles, and how, some styles match up with each other. I was nervous after the first round. I thought there might be no contest. Um, but I'm glad, she was able to power through and, keep control of the rest of the fight. So, yeah.
Nice. And you mentioned the Xiong Jingnan fight a moment ago. It sounds like that's like a real priority for you. You really do intend to finish that trilogy sometime in the near future.
Definitely, I want to put an end to this trilogy, and um, I can't wait to face her again. Definitely, we have a lot of history with each other. And yeah, I wanna face her again. I want that strawweight belt.
Those first two fights were crazy and so competitive. The fight she won was very close. The fight you won was very close. They were both, down to the last round. What do you do to make sure that third fight is totally decisive in your favor? Is there anything you can do differently, you think?
I think that in these past few years since I last fought in 2019, I think I've grown, a lot as a fighter. I've matured a lot, and you can kind of just see that all this drilling and training and the skills development is finally everything's coming together. So I was really happy with my performance and what I was able to utilize in my boxing and my transition, my takedowns in this last fight. And I think that just because of time and of the consistency, so I'm able to just develop into a better fighter. And I think it's going to be very different this time around when we match up.
It's funny you say that. I was talking to a few other reporters in Singapore about that. We all felt, we couldn't put our finger on it, but we felt there was something different about you this fight week. And obviously, it seems that motherhood has changed you. And I remember when I interviewed you before Ava was born, you said you were going to come back a different animal, and it really, it really seemed like you did. You seemed like a different person this week. It was very cool. I got to ask you about Danielle Kelly. I just interviewed her yesterday, and she mentioned that she would really love to have a grappling match with you at some point. It was, very respectful call out, but you're, a target for her. Any response for that?
I would love to, I love to grapple. Um, as soon as I turned 18, I was focusing entirely on MMA, and I didn't get a chance to do a lot of the grappling competitions that I would have liked to. So I think it would be cool for sure.
Yeah, I mean, one is doing a lot of grappling stuff lately. They're signing a bunch of grapplers, promoting a lot of submission grappling matches. As somebody who comes from the grappling arts, a grappler by trade, what do you think of the way that one is sort of pushing into this new territory?
I think it's cool, they're definitely going to be capturing a whole nother audience, with the jujitsu fans and nogi grapplers. So I think that it's really smart, it's a way to just capture another audience, and yeah, I think it's been going good.
And as a fighter, it's kind of nice, I would guess, too, to have like suddenly another option for competition in this organization, right?
Definitely, always looking to just, stay busy, stay active.
Cool, cool. This One X show, as everybody knows, was a tenth anniversary celebration. And I asked you a bit about this in Singapore, but I mean, you've been a crucial part of this organization's first 10 years. One of the first homegrown stars, an accomplished champion. Just from your perspective, what were those first 10 years like?
Yeah, man. So I joined one in 2015. So I've been with them for 7 years now. And to see the growth of the company and to be able to grow with the company has been amazing. Me, my family. I think that, you know, um, it just goes hand in hand, our success and the success of one. And, it's a win-win situation for everybody. You can see one is just skyrocketing. Like, they really like their numbers and the growth of the company in just 10 years, and it's a short time, but they've done so much. Next step is to break into US. So I'm very excited about that, fight closer to home. And yeah, things are going great. So I'm super proud and happy to be a part of one.
You mentioned the U.S. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk for a long time about a potential debut on U.S. soil, and it sounds like those plans are still in motion. But it also sounds like there's a fairly imminent announcement about a U.S. TV deal, and Chatri keeps saying that this is going to allow American fans to watch one championship in prime time. You're not going to have to wake up early. What does that mean for you? Your fans are going to be able to tune in at 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night rather than 5 in the morning to see you fight. That must excite you, eh?
Definitely, man, one championship fans are hardcore because staying up like 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning or waking up to watch the fights, like that's some dedication. So it'll definitely make it a lot more accessible for people, and then you'll get more eyes, on the event, on one championship. And definitely I'd love to keep the momentum going. I know I have a lot of support from people in the US already, but a lot of people still, you know, might not know about one. It's all UFC here, right? So it'll be great for the fight fans to have more options, and I think they're gonna just fall in love with one championship and the fights that they bring. It's like completely different.
Totally. Well said. Between this new US TV deal and the potential debut on US soil, there's obviously a lot of big things in the pipeline for one. But if you look ahead to the next 10 years, I mean, what do you expect the future holds for this organization?
Oh man, I just see one dominating. Especially how uh, the MMA fights are just exciting on another level with the global rule set, But now you're adding Muay Thai fights, kickboxing fights, grappling matches. Like, they're covering the whole realm of mixed martial arts, and that's something that's super cool to see. So I think, definitely they're gonna just be on top.
Cool. Well said. One more for you before I let you go. Back to you. You're back. You've made this epic comeback. You beat a tough opponent. You really silenced a lot of doubters. I mean, how do you follow this up? What do you want to do next? I mean, what does the next year look like for you, say?
Oh man, just taking one thing at a time, feeling so good after this win. It feels amazing to be back in the cage. I've been away for a minute. It's been a while, but yeah, definitely want to keep this momentum going. Keep building off of this. Um, this year has been such a great year so far, and I think it's just going to keep getting better. Focusing on family right now with my daughter. Her first birthday is coming up in a couple weeks, so just having a little bit of time to unwind, helping my teammates get ready for their fights, and then yeah. But I'll definitely be back there. You'll see me back there by the end of the year. Before then.